The people in front of the videos, watching the video, I have a message to you guys. Tingwu and Xin don't represent China. They don't represent manufacturing of China.
Yeah. Hi everyone, this is Steven from IFBRAND Sourcing. Today we're honored to invite the special friend Ben, which is a master for supply chain and foreign trade, and he's also a KOL in China. Welcome.
No more? Only three?
He's a master and also actually my idol for product procurement, specialized in foreign trade and used to be a brand owner. So we're honored to invite him to share some mindset and also some ideas about the current status of made in China and also the China factories and what happened in the export and import. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you.
So I think everyone would like to know more about the current status of made in China, or especially changed from several years ago. And because you just came from the north of China to research the factories and the manufacturing, so what would you like to share?
When you talk about China, there's a couple of things that have been changing. If I remember back to 2 or 3 years ago, people talk about out from original manufacturers to exporter. This is like I think 10 years ago.
Right.
But then for the last 3 or 4 years, people start to talk about the orders is getting smaller and the market is more diversified. I think this is there's 2 things that I can point out now. Number 1, China plus 1. It's quite a trendy term, especially after the US movement with the tax and everything changed, and the importer from US, and not only US, but they're starting from US, but we are seeing that a lot of European countries also take this initiative that they want to have a supply base, not totally rely on China. The basic reason is, as we know, is the risk management things. So if I remember back to January, people started very nervous and even panics about the sudden increase with the US tax. Everybody trying to go outside of China. The buyer, I mean the foreign, the white people want to find supply from Vietnam, Malaysia, Thailand, everywhere. Chinese also want to do that because they want to help their customer. They want to help their customer to build up the certain supply chain. The Southeast Asia all of a sudden become very, very hot topic. So this is one thing I could highlight in 2025.
I agree that, because it's the interesting thing is that several years ago when I went to Canton Fair or Hong Kong fairs, there are a lot of people from everywhere, US and Europe, and it's still like a lot of requests for the suppliers in China. But then for this year, especially like when I went there, people actually is more than last year. I usually heard some requests for some communication, like if I imagine I was buying and I said, okay, so for this product, what's the MOQ? And factories try to make it lower, like 1,000 we can do it.
Okay.
And then the next question would be, how about 500 with 3 SKUs? So I think something changes like this, and also like lots of brands coming out, they want to do some new things. The situation is that more and more young business is coming out, the situation that one large company can do everything, because now everyone and every person can just develop an idea. They have the good team or just maybe 1 or 2 people for the idea generation, and then they can just start, okay, let's launch this product.
And this is your market. Remember when I worked in Black & Decker, one of the Fortune 500 company, so I was working in the sourcing capacity. They were talking about exit strategies for long. Like 20 years ago, they think about that, and today they still run in China. Sourcing team is very strong. They are very professional people. It's not easy. It's not easy for any mature business to totally quit China. So I think China plus 1 is good. Remember that you cannot be China or 1, but it's China plus 1. That is always a good strategy. It's my point of view.
For this year, because you do your own brand, and also you also do sourcings and procurements, you have a lot of people. So for this process, what did you learn from the change between 10 years about made in China? Change?
There's another change that I can see very strong motivations that the factory want to, strongly competed in China in the sense that they don't want to enjoy such a small margin with all the hard work. So they want to go do trading by themselves. Also motivated by the Alibaba strategies. Alibaba do a lot of work this year to talk about that you guys have to go out, you guys have to do your own trading. 不出海边出局. This is their legends there, right? I think this really encouraging.
The most interesting topic I want to discuss is about if the made in China is exactly that good, the people, the consumer talk about. What we see from now, I think it's a pity, or sometimes I feel really sad about the phenomenon that the factories, they have the good machines, equipment, the technology, and also they have the good people. They want to do the high quality, the high volume. Even for small volume or something, they just want to stick to long-term relationship. But the thing is that people, some of the traders, when they come to the factories, they don't care about the volume, they care about the margin, and they are proud of their volumes or how many containers they ship out. And then so it actually, they don't care about how the supply chain manage, quality check, the quality control. So when they exactly pursue the margin, it actually influences the cost of the production, of the manufacturing. In this term, I think for the lots of factories, because they have to survive, to thrive, then at the initial stage, when they have to support those traders, they couldn't exactly balance for the margin and the quality. How comes? Instead, Shein or Tmall, I think there are still a lot of marketplace in some other countries, like maybe the Russian or Brazil or something. Those made in China came in, but then they couldn't see the quality is that match from their presentation on their markets. So they will say made in China is a crap, it's like rubbish. Why buy from made in China? I would like to buy from made in PRC. You know what I mean?
Well, I think for the people in front of the videos, watching the video, I have a message to you guys. Tmall and Shein don't represent China. They don't represent manufacturing of China. Okay, there's a lot of good things that waiting to be discovered.
I think this year the biggest topic is about the tariff from the US. So I think everyone is just interested about that because not all the brand owners understand what happened in China and how could we beat the tariffs. And so from this perspective, what do you want to share?
Maybe I can share a little bit perspective from a regular Chinese exporter. There's a lot of voice talk about how Chinese suffer from that. I think as our official China government channel say, there's nobody win when there's a war, right? I totally agree with that. There must be some suffering from certain level in the China supply chain. But what I can say is that this tariff 2.0, right? The first one is the first term by President Donald Trump's. The first term when it comes, it's like people talk about it as a black swan. They never heard about such an impact. Back to 2018, when they first come, that was a big panic. Yeah, that was a time that everybody was very surprised. But then this terms, the version 2.0, nobody really talk about this. That's not even a hot point in all the business discussion. They even want to discuss about the new rule from Alibaba, but not the tariffs. It's not so much impact. I think that is a good point to see because for the last 8 years since they start to break out the war, China exporter is diversifying their market very well. They're not relying on US market a lot. If they have a US market, we still try to work on it. But then at the same time, we try to get a European market, we try to get a raw and balanced market.
Because previously, all the factories, they focus on US market, but now they realize that there are some risks and they can expand their business to different countries. It's not bad actually, China.
But to be honest, US is still a very good market to work on. If you
it's the largest one anyway.
It's the largest one. People is smart. I mean, the US business people, they're very risk-taking, they are very aggressive, good business people. And normally people can enjoy better margins when they sell to US compared to other people's. So other market, I mean. Yeah, so this still good to be there. Being able to diversify is very good points.
And something interesting from another US customers, he came here. We visited the factories, visit different factories in April. That's the time when the tariff is going to the top, and he feels like a little panic, but he never stopped. He's saying that okay, we just have to adapt to it, and we just move forward. Who knows what happens in the future? But when he came back, sometimes because of the development process, he still relies the supply chain and production in US to tell me how can we adjust this process, how can we change this technology like this and that, because we found in US like the US factories saying this and that, but then I told him that this is never a same process from US production and Chinese production, because US production is more like sampling process or some small batch production. And for China side, factories, they have to, for the mass production, the workflow and the production line is from, they have to organize the labors, organize how to make full use of the machine, the time. The cost is totally different. So when they talk about the process made in USA can be like this and that, I said that they have some cost. The hidden cost is here, and how could you cover, or how could we adjust this? For us, we would like to talk about and also explain about the supply chain from the raw materials, IQC, DPI, and PSI. This kind of process with them. We actually involved from the mold development, because they have to produce a new one with their own tooling for the detail changes. So for us, we have our own like engineer to do the DFMA. Also have the engineer to control.
Also, you do the quality plan for them.
I think that it's really interesting to share is that when we realize that the company they changed the supply chain to another company in Ningbo from Shenzhen, and they realize that they don't have the tooling production. This is what I understood from their sales, because they always tell the customer saying that we have the mold, we have the plastic injection machines, we have the assembly line. And when we say, okay, I think it's the time to go to the factory to see the mold, because you need to, or you can just send us some videos about the capacity of the mold, so we can better analyze. But then they always refuse the visit with the clients. Actually, for the tooling test, when we visited the factories, we understood the mold is actually produced in Shenzhen, and the owners and the engineers came to Shenzhen frequently to check the mold. I don't say that it's a bad thing, because nowadays is the environment for all the factories for resource integration. They have to cooperate together, because the molding factory couldn't do a lot, some other process in the same facility. But the thing is that you have to talk transparently to help customers, to help clients to understand the truth, so they don't doubt anything. Because I think for now, all the business, they have some problems. It's not about what they couldn't do, what they failed. It's about the communication barrier.